It's December. That means the Festive 500 is upon us. Now, if you're new here, my name is Jared Watts. I live here in Minnesota. I race on the road and cyclocross. I'm an amateur who thinks that they're a pro, and I just want to share all the tips that I've learned from cycling and what works for me to make you a better cyclist. Now, if you don't know what the Festive 500 is, Rapha has put it on for over a decade now, and the point of it is to ride 500 kilometers in the span of 8 days from December the 24th to December the 31st. That's a lot of riding to accomplish in an 8-day stretch. And being that everything is virtual these days, they have moved it so that you can complete this virtually. I live here in Minnesota. End of December, there's no riding outside unless you're riding a fat bike, and that would take so long to complete 500 kilometers. So I will be doing it all inside of my pain cave on my Wahoo trainer on Zwift. Now, this video is dedicated to how to go as fast as possible to complete those 500 kilometers in as quick of time as possible while on Zwift. Again, this is going to be specific to Zwift. It can probably work for other platforms and can even kind of work for your outside, but this is for Zwift itself. The holidays are a busy time. You got families that you got to go see. You got kids that you got to take care of. I am a dad of 2. It is very busy around the holiday season. I also work a full-time job. So how can I juggle all of that while also getting in 500 kilometers, which is a little bit over 300 miles if you're looking at it in the US. I'm in the US too, but it's called the Festive 500, so you gotta say 500 kilometers. All right, tip number 1. Plan your rides. Plan it out day by day. Try to chunk it up. Maybe do a little bit of a bigger ride one day, a little bit of a shorter ride one day, or do the full 8 days and chunk it up exactly even so every day is the exact same. In any case, please plan your rides. That is going to give you the best setup as possible in order to complete this. Figure out what you think your average mile per hour is going to be. Calculate about how many hours it is all going to take. That is the first thing. Plan it out. Now, one thing with planning is maybe you can do 2-a-days. Instead of doing a 2-hour ride or a 3-hour ride in one chunk, which can be very hard to do if you're a parent, if you're working, if you got plans, maybe do an hour in the morning and an hour at night. An hour in the morning, hour at lunch. Something like that. Break up those rides. So plan it out. The next thing that you can do to go as fast as possible on Zwift is pick flat routes. Don't pick the hilly stuff. That takes so much longer to get over. My favorite course is Tempus Fugit. I don't know how to say that. I don't know if I've ever said it right. Tempus Fugit. It's like 12 miles long. It is basically completely flat, barely any elevation. And that is going to ensure that you can go the fastest that you can as possible to complete as many kilometers in as short of amount of time as possible. So pick a flat route. Do not do any climbing. This is not the time to get your Everest. That is later. That is later. Don't Everest right now. Third, pick a tri-bike. Some people may not like this, especially if you're going to ride solo. If you're going to ride in a group, don't pick a tri-bike. Pick the fastest triathlon TT bike that you can if you are riding solo so that you can get the most miles per hour or kilometers per hour that you can possible on Zwift. Ride a flat route with a tri-bike or a TT bike. Hands down, the fastest way to do it. Now, if you want to go even faster, the next tip is to ride in a group. Ride in a group of cyclists. Zwift has a ton of group rides going on, especially during the Festive 500. There will be group rides specifically to the Festive 500. They'll say it on there. So pick a group ride. You can go like 3, 4, 5 miles per hour faster, putting out the same amount of watts. Ride in a group, but do not do races. Don't do races. You do not want to burn yourself out. You don't want to go too hard. You want to keep these rides low intensity, but try to go as fast as possible. Keep them low intensity though. That brings me into the next one, which is recovery. Make sure you recover. This is a lot of riding. For myself, this is a lot of riding in 1 week. This is a big week for me. Don't sell yourself short and think that you don't need to work on your recovery. Foam roll, massage gun, stretch. Please take care of your body throughout this so that you can be ready for the next day. And that leads into my last point, which is nutrition. Please plan your nutrition. Go back to that planning phase where I had in that first tip and bake in some nutrition. So when I talk about nutrition, we have on the bike and off the bike nutrition. Let's talk about on the bike nutrition. You want to be putting carbs in your body. You want to be putting electrolytes in your body. You tend to sweat a little bit more indoors, but on the bike nutrition, you really want to be shooting to put carbs in your bottle. Look at it on a per hour basis, somewhere like 30 to 60, up to 90. It depends on how hard you're going. For me, most of my rides here in the Festive 500 will be in that 30 to 60 grams per hour. I will put carb mix in my bottle. I will also eat gels. And in long rides like this, I'll eat more solid food instead of gels, just as like a treat. It's like a mental break. I have some waffles coming from the feed that I'm super excited about. The feed is a great place to look at like a holistic approach to nutrition. You can get drink mixes, you can get food, you can get recovery. Like it's a holistic approach to all the things that you can, put in your body while you're riding. I've already been on the feed to plan my nutrition for the Festive 500. It's going to be a mix of gels, drink mix, and then some solid food. Like I said, I got some waffles coming that are gluten-free. I'm gluten-free, so I don't always get these types of treats, and I'm super excited for them. But I eat more solid foods on rides like this that are low and slow. And it's just a mental treat. Like it's something I have to look forward to at this minute mark. I'm going to eat that, and it's like a little reward. So please plan your on-the-bike nutrition. Off-the-bike nutrition as well. Carbs are going to be your best friend. Oatmeal, white rice, pasta, bread. For me, it's going to be white rice and oatmeal. Those work really well for me. And I'm going to eat a lot of carbs because this is a lot of training. This is a lot of on the bike work. So eat your carbs. And then recover with protein. That's what I do. I'm also going to be eating, a lot of chicken, ground beef, things like that to get protein in my diet off the bike. But I'm also going to be getting off the bike, drinking a protein shake. Again, you want to recover as best as possible, get your sleep so that you can work hard the next day. That's really what nutrition is about. It's about getting you dialed in for your current ride, but also setting you up for success the next day. You don't want to burn out middle of the week on a Wednesday when you still have a couple more days to go. That can be very tough. So I'm super excited for all of us to try to complete the Festive 500. I've actually never completed the Festive 500 because I've had kids right around this time twice. And so I've barely been sleeping during this stretch. In past years, I've had some really bad sickness in this time period. So this year, I'm so excited to try to complete the Festive 500. It's a grind. It's a lot of work, especially indoors. It can be a little bit mentally fatiguing, but I'm very excited for you to try and complete this. What are your tips to how you would successfully complete the Festive 500? Put them in the comments below. And please comment, subscribe to this channel, like this video. It really helps build my channel up and it helps me to continue making videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and go crush it in the Festive 500 later on this month.